Hi, you guys. My name's Emma. I'm from Every Daughter. I'm on the leadership team. Every Daughter is a faith-based Christian nonprofit here in Madison that's dedicated to supporting women affected by sex trafficking and exploitation. As many of you know, so I'm preaching to the choir here, human trafficking is a $150 billion global industry, and it's happening right here in Madison. Every day, hundreds of ads are posted online on message boards advertising sex in Dane County. It's happening in hotels, in houses, restaurants, parking lots, all right under our noses. And exploitation does not discriminate. It impacts women from all walks of life, regardless of social status, race, or education. Every Daughter's mission is simple. It's to be the hands and feet of Jesus and to serve survivors of human trafficking through authentic, judgment-free friendships and relationships rooted in the gospel and compassion. We aim to be steady, caring presence, and someone that they can rely on no matter what phase of their recovery they are in, whether that's someone who hasn't decided yet to step out of their life of sex trafficking and exploitation, or someone who is fighting for their life to just have a normal existence. So while these women come from all different backgrounds, the common thread of their stories is that of deep isolation. Many have no one safe or trustworthy to turn to, no support system to catch them when things go wrong. And so our volunteers at Every Daughter aim to create a wraparound support system, wraparound care, and actually wraparound prayer, because we have a prayer team that prays over every single woman by name every day. Wraparound care, a support system that people like you and I often take for granted, right? Someone that you can call when your car breaks down, or that you can ask to babysit your kids when you're in a pinch, right? So we aim to create that safe community that many of us have, but don't think about as something that's really important and sacred. So one of the primary ways that we see big needs is when women face housing instability, okay? So on a regular basis, we see a desperate need for that stable housing piece. In a recent Polaris Project survey, 64% of survivors reported being homeless or experiencing unstable housing when they were trafficked. Traffickers exploit potential victims' fear of sleeping on the street, first by offering safe shelter and coercive recruitment tactics. Then, as the situation progresses, they might create like a threatening situation that they threaten to create homelessness and kick someone to the street as a means to control. Another aspect that we often see is survival sex. When an individual engages in sexual activity in exchange for basic living necessities such as food and housing. Many of the women that we serve run on a very thin margin, right? They're desperately trying to stay clean, hold down a normal job, keep custody of their children, and build their lives. Even the smallest thing can knock them off kilter, and often sending them back to that one predictable source of income, prostitution. That's where Danielle was at when I first met her. I was introduced to Danielle through a local anti-trafficking organization that we partner with. She was homeless. She was 7 months pregnant with her fourth child and buying most of her food from gas stations, which as a midwife by trade, it was really hard to hear that. So her deepest desire was to gain custody of all of her children, but that felt like an impossible task when she was living in a homeless shelter. So over the coming months, I attended her birth as a doula, and our team gathered around her. We helped her to apply for apartments, contributed to her rent for the first few months, helped her get a car and set up with insurance, helped her move, gather furniture, find a job, and provide babysitting while she was doing job training. We walked alongside her and as she fought and won custody of her children. Through all of this, we met regularly just to catch up, and she would hug me and say, "You're my people," with a big grin on her face. About a year after I met her, Danielle invited me to her daughter's first birthday. We met on the rooftop of her new apartment, played games, ate cupcakes, and took some new family photos. This was a woman who had been transformed. And last Sunday, I saw her daughter at the Easter service. So this is the kind of transformation that we look for and that we seek to see more of through your contribution. Thanks.
Question that I'd like to pose. I know a lot
Sure.
of people ask, like, the age that you find a lot of people who've been victims of trafficking, when does that start? And then also kind of how it continues.
Sure. Yeah. For a lot of people, a lot of women, trafficking begins when they're vulnerable, when they're at their most vulnerable. Traffickers tend to really find and exploit vulnerabilities. And if you think about that, that's most of the time when you're a teenager, when you're an adolescent, or if you're homeless. So we see a lot of people who have a history of being in the foster care system or having just an unstable family structure. And again, no support system to remind them of who they are and to bring that stability. So yeah, young is often the case. Yes.
How many folks are part of this network? How many women are involved, and how many churches are involved?
Oh, Brian, can you help me with this? I think we.
Great question. Our prayer corps provides a lot of involvement for women from over 18 different local churches. I think we're at
53 on our prayer corps.
Divided them into daily teams to pray. That boils down to a help team. I believe there's 10 on that. And an outreach team that's down to 8. So we may have some shifts soon, but it's a smaller number. And then the leadership team is 4.
Yeah. And we're across multiple churches, probably at least a dozen, I would say. Yeah. 18 churches represented. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, so that's actually a really interesting question. Right now, we're serving about 25 women right now. That said, we're getting new referrals all the time. And because we are limited in our resources and our just like manpower, there are a lot of people that we're just kind of like holding and not pursuing working with just because we're limited, which honestly, like, this is a growing problem, you know. Trafficking is a growing problem, not a shrinking one, and so we anticipate like needing more as time goes on. But one really cool thing is that we've been doing this for long enough that the women that we serve are the ones referring their friends to us, which I think is really cool because that shows that they're like experiencing transformation through our organization and telling their friends about it. Correct. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah. So we provide people will reach out to us and be like, hey, I can't make my rent this month. I'm $80 short. Can you guys help me out? So that's kind of how we come alongside them. Yes.
Do you provide training for your volunteers?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, all of these women that we're serving are coming from with a history of trauma. And so we work really hard to make sure that our volunteers feel well equipped to meet women where they're at and provide, you know, that care and compassion, listening ear, and a lot of that motivational interviewing that helps them to recognize what they want, what changes they want to make in their lives without forcing them to do that. Yeah.
If someone here wants more information or would like to, who do they contact?
Yeah.
Go to your website?
Yeah, you can. Our website has a link where you can sign up. You can also catch me or Brian after this. So I'll give you my number. Thank you.